golem devours the rations, and the sector's residents are left to die. Ray watches the metal beast tear apart the packed food crates, its jaws grinding metal and meat alike. Hunger gnaws at his stomach, but the creature's hunger is louder. He knows the streets will starve if the golem keeps feeding. With every bite, the market stalls grow silent, vendors clutching empty bags. The crowd backs away, eyes wide, fearing the next bite. Ray clenches his fists, determined to find a way to trade with the monster before it eats everything. And that's not even the worst part. Ray steps toward the humming metal mass, eyes fixed on its crackling core. Ron steps closer, his aura crackling with angry red, and hisses that Ray is trapped in a web he cannot escape. The bully declares that every lie Ray tells will shatter like glass, and his final threat promises a silence so deep Ray will never speak again. Ray clamps his fists, feeling a surge of blue sorrow and yellow hope battling inside his veins. He channels the colors into a faint pulse, hoping to blind Ron with a flash of prismatic light. The alley holds its breath as the light flickers, but Ron's grin only widens, his hand already reaching for the rope that could bind Ray forever.
You're caught in my trap. Your lies will crumble.
6 years pass, and Ray still lacks the spark that fuels ordinary hearts. Yet he can read the colors pulsing in others' chests, a skill that saves him from hidden knives. In this sector, drawing a blade is an unspoken law. Anyone who breaks it invites death. Ron steps forward, clutching a rusted piece of metal, and Ray accuses him of planting the weapon to trap him. Ron snarls that the steel came from the trash, but Ray sees the lie in his eyes. The alley tightens around their rivalry. Ray points at the glowing vessel inside his opponent's chest, saying he can read the mana that leaks from it.
The chapter ends at a breaking point for genius Prismatic Mage. Every answer opened 3 new questions. The final moment leaves everything and everyone on the edge. Real fans stick around. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari and let's finish this story together.
Ray's brother shattered the golem. The stolen mana will devour the city in minutes. Ray bursts into the dim underpass, his shoulders cutting a silhouette against the flickering torchlight. Pale steps forward, eyes sharp, and points at the gathered kids. His voice cuts the stale air. "You're here right on time," he says, gripping the edge of the broken wall. Ray's grin cracks the tension, but his the crowd, noting how their combined weight threatens to crush the fragile ceiling. The group tightens, each child holding a breath, waiting for the big brother to decide the next move. And that's not even the worst part. "You're here right on time." Mario steps up, voice shaky but firm, and admits he actually agrees with Pale's theory. He explains that each time the golem shifts, it siphons surrounding mana, mixes it inside its core, then exhales the waste as black gas. The black rain and gas swirl together, coating the children's boots in a toxic sheen. Josephine whispers that the two phenomena must be linked, a silent accusation against the city's hidden engines. The kids glance at the sky, wondering if their survival fuels the city's decay. Stay subbed to Manwa with Hari, or you'll miss the climax.
I actually agree with Pale. Black rain and black gas.
He has no idea what's waiting. With the rat momentarily stalled, the children rush to divide the precious cash. Mario grabs a sack, Josephine eyes the remaining portions, and Ray pushes the crate toward a safer corner. The black rain seeps through cracks, casting a dim violet hue over their faces. Tension crackles as each child calculates how many bites will keep them alive. Suddenly, a low-pitched whine rises from the golem, reminding them that every use drains its mana. They trade nervous glances, aware that hoarding the food could cost them the golem's aid later. Oh! Their hunger sharpens, but the answer is already too late. The rat scrambles again, this time aiming a tiny dart at the crate's latch.
Ray forces the golem's core to speak, unleashing a fragmented chant that names the Hector Group executive and declares all 3 brothers taken out. The children feel hope shatter as the ominous revelation steals their safety, leaving them to wonder if their dwindling rations and fragile alliances can survive the unseen predator's next move. A black rain-slick tunnel glistens behind the golem. The rat's night vision eyes gleam, and the cryptic warning hints at a hidden adversary poised to strike before the children can decipher its true intent.
Something major happens to this character very soon. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari before the spoilers find you. A rainbow vortex erupts, shattering the citadel in an instant. Rain slicks the stone streets of Valkan as the mage flickers forward, his blink ability crackling against the storm. He lands on a narrow alley, the thief's silhouette darting ahead, clutching a glowing crimson vessel. Little Pat watches from a shadowed doorway, his eyes tracking the chase with nervous excitement. The mage's goal is clear: catch the thief before the artifact touches the sleeping children hidden in the night camp. The rain, the tight turns, and the thief's sudden leap onto a dead-end bridge form the first barrier. He lunges, sparks flying, and the pursuit intensifies.
By a little Pat.
And that's not even the worst part.
Is this death? The thief shouts, his voice cracking against the storm. Another voice yells, a mix of fear and anger. No, wretch! The thief curses, clenching his fists as the crimson vessel throbs louder. Uziel steadies his breath, his fingers tightening around the artifact. He recalls Heron's warning about the vessel's anger gauge. Each strike fuels a larger explosion. He throws a quick hand sign, channeling a prismatic surge into the vessel, hoping to force a release. The vessel flickers, its crimson light wavering, but the thief refuses to yield. He has no idea what's waiting. Moth, is he so strong? The thief gasps, eyes wide as the vessel erupts in a blinding flash. Neon gutters blaze as Beck Uziel darts across Valkan's slick avenues, his pulse thudding like drums. He slams his palm against a street lamp, feeling the artifact's pulse tremble beneath his fingertips. A guttural chant rises from a shadowed doorway, and a hooded figure lunges, brandishing a cursed blade. Uziel snarls, ignites his prismatic aura, and thrusts forward, shattering the night's dark veil with a flash of crimson light. The neon market stalls flicker as Beck Uziel darts past, his prismatic aura crackling. He snatches the stolen artifact from the thief's grasp, sparks erupt, and the crimson vessel flares, pulsing like a heartbeat. Children huddle behind crates, eyes wide, while Uziel snarls, "Give it back, or I break every spell you cherish." He launches a blink, vanishing into a shadowed alley, chasing the fleeing gang. Uziel lunges through the neon-lit market, snatching the glowing artifact from the thief's grasp as crimson fire erupts from his vessel, sending a shockwave of prismatic light across the rain-slick streets. He feels a surge of triumph as the artifact hums in his hands, yet the crimson blaze warns him he's old. If you thought that fight was crazy, you haven't seen anything yet. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
Niles, the disgraced 46th executive, claws at the air, lungs burning as Hector's hunters close the net around the river. Ray drags his bruised frame from the icy torrent, vision smeared with frost. The river was his only shot at survival, but it left a fresh, throbbing wound. Niles snarls, berating Ray for risking everything, reminding him that dawn never finds a man who sleeps before sunrise. Ray mutters that waking up this early feels wrong, yet the cold forces him onward. Niles whispers that Hector's men patrol 17th Street, hunting anyone daring to slip away. Their breaths plume in the night, tension tightening like a drawn bow. That was dangerous, Ray. I'm not usually awake this early.
Viola darts across the shattered market stalls, clutching a glowing vial of purple mana. She shouts to the militia, "Drop the charge before the kids get caught." The militia commander snarls, swings his blade, and the crowd erupts into chaotic shouts. Niles scrambles to block a collapsing wall, his eyes flicking to the approaching truckload of weapons. The sector trembles, and the war drums pound louder. Crowds flood the cracked alleys of 17th Street as Ray shouts orders, his hand crackling violet light. He forces the malicious sentries aside, dragging wounded children toward the safe house. Viola flicks a pulse of purple mana, sealing the broken gate before the first mortar lands.
The crowd parts as the 18th Street boss Hector steps into view, his coat staining the dust with authority. Ray feels the pressure to obey, but his broken leg and the shouting militia block any easy retreat. Hector eyes the delivery cart, then turns toward the looming barricade where Niles waits. Ray tightens his grip on the cart handle, ready to bolt if the two leaders decide to fire on the market. The tension crackles, and the ground beneath his feet feels like a ticking time bomb. A small boy named Nyansan hauls crates while the grown UPS have already fled, their shadows disappearing into the smoke. Ray slams the stone gate shut, the violet crystal flaring against Hector's foot soldiers, while Viola unleashes a searing pulse of purple mana that shatters the alley's darkness. Ray's broken leg throbs, the fresh sting behind his ear screaming betrayal. System notifications are about to go crazy. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. The war ignites. The Prismatic Mage's engine rips through Sector 50 in an instant. Satin grips the desk, eyes burning with fury. He refuses the contract that would merge their street children network into the corporate hive. The clause demands surrender of every safe house. He knows losing the hideout means endless danger for the kids. Ray watches, shoulders tense, waiting for orders. Satin tells Ray to abandon the hideout until they regroup. Both men feel the weight of betrayal and the looming threat of a citywide purge. Their plan stalls, but the clock ticks louder. I can't accept these ridiculous terms. They want to absorb our organization.
Leave your hideout for now.
A sudden rustle cuts through the night, and Ohm's ears prick up. He turns, eyes scanning the dim corridor, and whispers to the others, "Did you hear that?" Ray freezes, hand hovering over his weapon, and mutters, "Something's wrong." The lingering hum of the dark blue mana still tingles at the back of their throats, a reminder that the enemy's presence is far from gone. Their breaths come shallow, bodies tense, as they brace for an unseen threat. The silence presses in heavier than any armor. He has no idea what's waiting.
Did you hear that?
Something's wrong.
A hulking golem lumbers forward, its stone joints grinding against the cracked floor. Lightning cracks the vaulted hideout ceiling, scattering shards of crystal as the monocle-wearing adversary summons the golem. Nile's squad charges, spears humming with prismatic fire, while the dark blue mana siphons into the stone colossus. Satin Ray shouts orders, pulling the youngest children toward the tunnel, and a guttural roar shakes the pillars. The front line holds, but every heartbeat drums a warning that the rings around the enemy ship pulse with hidden power. Satin Ray slams his staff into the stone floor, sparking prismatic shards that ricochet toward the golem's core. The chapter ends at a breaking point for genius Prismatic Mage. Every answer opened 3 new questions. The final moment leaves everything and everyone on the edge. There's a reason the system is acting like this. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari to uncover the truth. The mage tears the heavens as a jagged bolt of prismatic energy erupts, splintering the sky and casting the empire into a dying twilight. I sprint toward the 17th Street Plaza, heart hammering against my ribs, because the night is about to swallow everything. The stone square lies under a veil of crimson silence. Every Nile's brother I trained with lies still, blood soaking the cobblestones like dark ink. My breath catches. Their empty stares push me onward. I drop to my knees, fingers brushing a shattered helm, and the cold truth crashes into me. My hesitation sealed their fate. Every pulse in my veins howls the same regret that will echo with every step I take. A guttural roar erupts from the cracked stone, shaking the shattered plaza. Ray darts forward, eyes flashing with resolve, and slams his staff into trembling earth. The golem's iron limbs explode, molten core spilling across the cobbles like rivers of fire. Beside him, our hero grips his mage sigil, fists trembling, and swears vengeance on Hector's hidden allies. The lingering smoke, his mind already scheming the next strike. His heart pounds with cold fury. He lunges forward, voice raw, shouting, "Ray, are you okay?" He needs confirmation that his brother survived, but Ray's steady gaze offers no comfort. Ray lifts a hand, the air humming, and says nothing, his silence a wall between them. He backs away from the ruined altar, the echo of the golem still humming in his ears. A flicker of movement catches his eye beyond the broken wall. 3 massive silhouettes loom, their stone limbs grinding against the cobbles. The number repeats in his mind, a cold tally of death waiting to strike. Panic claws at his throat, but the need to protect the few hidden survivors drives him forward. He shouts orders, urging the wounded to crawl toward the hidden tunnel, while he readies a barrier spell. Each step he takes costs precious time, and the approaching trio gains momentum. A cold wind carries their ominous footsteps. He has no idea what's waiting. Ray unleashes a violet burst from the ruined aqueduct, shattering the golem's core and sending crackling sparks across the broken plaza as he races toward the collapsing statues. His eyes locked on the trembling horizon. His heart pounds for his missing brother, yet Ray's cold stare offers no reassurance, forcing the mage to confront the crushing weight of fallen comrades and the desperate need for redemption amid the ruin. The air tastes of iron and regret. Beyond the shattered altar, 3 towering stone silhouettes emerge, their grinding limbs promising a new, unseen menace as the mage backs away, the golem's hum fading into a menacing, unanswered echo. Their eyes flicker with ancient malice, hinting at a battle yet to begin. A dark fantasy masterpiece. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari to see the darkness unfold. The Prismatic Mage shatters the heavens. The city clings to its last breath. Beck-Uziel awakens under a torrent of black rain, blood dripping from his sleeves. He tells himself it must be a nightmare, begging for an instant wake-up. The storm deafens his thoughts. The darkness swallows every landmark. He scrambles, hands clawing at the air, searching for a foothold. Panic spikes, his heart hammers, but the rain refuses to part. Each gasp pulls him deeper into the void, leaving his fate hanging on a fragile thread. And that's not even the worst part. Beck's mind screams for distance as the rain presses against his skin. Beck lowers his head, the weight of the night pressing down like a stone. Ugh, he mutters, the sound raw with exhaustion. He lingers on the memory of a long, lingering dream that never truly ended, each scene a blur of shadows and whispers. It feels like I had a really long dream, he admits, his voice shaking. Just remembering what happened yesterday fuels a fresh wave of doubt, each recollection a blade against his resolve. The swirl of past and present puts his emotions in turmoil, almost the same as that time he first lost control. He knows he must stay focused or everything collapses. Stay sub to Manwa with Hari, or you'll miss the climax.
Ugh.
Beck lunges forward as the leader thrusts a dark staff toward him. The air ripples, and a wave of cold energy crashes into the corridor, freezing the stone beneath Beck's boots. He wants to close the distance before the spell seals the exit. The icy surge freezes his fingers, numbing his grip on the antidote vial. He forces his heart to pound faster, igniting his blink beyond its safe limit. The surge of prismatic flame erupts from his palm, melting the ice but scorching his skin. He drops the vial, the medicine spilling onto the ground, and a sharp gasp escapes his lips. And that's not even the worst part.
Beck-Uziel forces his blink spell to erupt, shattering the lingering rift and unleashing a blinding flash that floods the ruined hallway with storm-charged shadows and a cascade of broken antidote. His desperate clutch on the vial turns tragic as the antidote spills, sealing his brother's fate and leaving Beck battling guiltar.
Only the most dedicated readers make it to the end. You're already one of them. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
Humphrey's silence cracks when Ray unleashes a prismatic curse. The night blazes with shards of light. A pale specter lingers on 17th Street, its cold stare locking onto Ray. Ray snarls, demanding the ghost spill its secret. The apparition holds its tongue, a wall of mute ice. Ray's shout echoes, "I've watched you long enough, listen." The ghost stays still, its silence a solid barrier. Ray's voice ricochets through the empty alley, a desperate bargain hanging in the air. "I've been watching you. Hear me out." At last the specter dissolves, and the darkness presses down, heavier than before. Ray spots silent Humphrey perched on a broken pillar, his face a mask of stone.
The rain has stopped, leaving a faint mist that hints at something brighter. Ray leans in, voice low, asking the old legend that haunted his childhood. He asks if the rainbow story is true, if a wish can be granted by finding its end. The words tremble with hope, each syllable a prayer for his brother's return. The listener pauses, eyes narrowing, aware that belief can be a weapon or a curse. Ray's desperation sharpens, his mind racing toward a myth that might rewrite his fate. That story about the rainbow, is it true? If you find a rainbow, you can make a wish? He has no idea what's waiting. Lightning splits the sky, flashing over the crumbling stone of Sector. Ray darts toward the glowing sigil, clutching the cursed crystal Humphrey demanded. He slams the gem into the altar, forcing the demon-bound enforcer to recoil. A vortex of water bubbles erupts, swirling around the corpse-laden underpass. Ray whispers a promise to his brother, then ignites a prismatic blast that shatters the barrier, exposing the hidden riverway. Arya shoves the cracked rune stone into the yawning maw of the underpass, sparks erupting as the dark water swirls. Ray watches, eyes narrowed, and whispers the binding chant. The demon-bound enforcer snarls, claws scraping stone, but the rune's light sears its flesh, forcing the creature to retreat into the shadows. Ray thrusts the cursed crystal into the altar, chanting, sealing the demon-bound enforcer as the underpass erupts with blinding light, while the sealed portal flickers toward the rainbow's edge. Ray stakes his oath, gaining Humphrey's map but risking his soul, while Arya watches, fearing the cost of binding the demon and losing the chance to claim the rainbow's power. As the portal destabilizes, a shadowy figure emerges from the cracked rune stone, eyes glowing, promising vengeance, leaving Ray and Humphrey staring at a looming threat that could shatter their quest. The snakes are hiding in plain sight. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari. Rage fuels his mana. One misstep and the sector explodes. Beck Uziel storms the ruined 17th Street, eyes snapping over twisted metal and shattered stone. Burnt oil fumes scorch his throat, a reminder of the golem that fell here. A crackle of raw red mana thrums beneath his skin, wild and unshaped. Every footfall threatens to stir the volatile energy, his heart hammering against his ribs. He clenches his fists, channeling fury into a spell that could seal the wreckage. A deeper danger looms behind the trembling stone. Beck Uziel halts beside a half-buried conduit, breath fogging in the icy air. The ground trembles faintly as Beck Uziel steps closer to the shattered site. A metallic TSK reverberates, hinting at a recent clash. He spots scorched earth and a broken gear, evidence that a golem fought here moments ago. A jagged piece of the construct lies half-buried, its surface still humming with residual energy. He kneels, feeling the faint echo of the battle pulse through his fingertips, realizing the golem's defeat left a scar of raw mana on the pavement. Each fragment he gathers could be a key to stabilizing his own spell.
It looks like the golem fought over here. I see a piece.
He pockets the fragment, yet he has no idea what's waiting. Beck Uziel darts into the shattered alley, following a pulsing mana beacon that slices through the gloom, exposing a concealed mage cloaked in lingering spellfire and hinting at the golem's true annihilator. His patience thins as the scout's apologetic glitch collides with the possibility that an orphan commands such devastating power, forcing him to confront the loss of certainty and the weight of impossible hope. The brighter mana pulse flickers deeper, vanishing behind cracked stone, leaving Uziel staring at a shadowed silhouette that promises a revelation yet to unfold. Blood is thicker than water, but revenge is sweeter. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari.
The prismatic surge spikes, shaking the 49th sector as midnight looms. Adam crouches in the cramped alleys of his birth district, the memory of his hometown's narrow lanes flashing behind his eyes. He's hunting the 4 sector, but the jagged skyline towers like a steel forest, dwarfing everything he ever knew. Row after row of soaring towers, counts the endless avenues, feels the city's crushing weight bearing down. The truth slams into him. This maze swallows the southern quarter whole, and each step drags him deeper into its unknown heart. He clamps the map tighter, his pulse quickening. This hunt has only just ignited. And that's just the beginning of the nightmare.
Beck Uziel darts through the cramped alleys of the 49th sector, clutching a cracked map and muttering about missing vessel circles. He slams a street vendor's awning, revealing hidden glyphs that pulse with the prismatic hue. A sudden clang from a nearby golem alarm rings out, but he ignores it, driven by a rumor that a stolen tome contains the city's secret power source.
Adam spots looming figures 3 no for each a potential threat to his quest. He chooses subdual over killing, hoping a captured foe will reveal hidden routes to the vessel circles. He orders his allies to seize the intruder, then turns to an abandoned car nearby, hunting for keys that might unlock a secret stash. Adam confronts the greedy thief, snatching the stolen tome and unleashing a torrent of chaotic, multicolored emotion that threatens to tear his research apart. Uziel races through the cramped alleles, clutching a cracked map that could reveal the hidden vessel circles, while Adam teeters on the brink of losing his life's work to the thief's relentless greed. A cloaked figure watches from the shadowed stacks, eyes fixed on the prismatic ink page, promising a deadly pursuit that could shatter the fragile balance of power.
We all know you should be sleeping, but you're here. Subscribe to Manwa with Hari anyway.